Hey guys, Barry Page here, Legacy Money, and there's lots of news today, primarily about the Fed rate cut. And if you're subscribing to our channel, you know this is one of my favorite topics. I love to speak on Thursday about what the Fed did on Wednesdays at their FOMC Fed meeting. And this time it's a little different, because we have a POTUS, President Donald J. Trump, who really is somewhat, making threats. Could Fed Powell lose his job? And our president is already, making it known that he's considering a change. So the question becomes, do rates matter? And if you're the banker, not really. But if you owe money to the big banks, if you have revolving debt, credit cards, and you're paying 15, 20, 30% interest rates, absolutely the amount of interest that you pay matters. But the good news is you can turn the tables starting today. You don't have to wait around to the next Fed cut or for the banks to make adjustments. You can become the banker. You can take control of the banking function in your life. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes a little while. You've got to capitalize your system. There's lots of things that you can do. So I suggest you watch some of my other videos on the subject. But for now, let's talk about what's really going on. You see, the Federal Reserve is in control. And you know probably by now, hopefully, that they're not federal and they have no reserves. So what they're doing is they're creating credit. And this creates inflation. So while the president is pushing for lower rates, understand that this is just a short-term fix. Whenever the Fed creates money, fiat money, this is, by the very definition, inflation. It's inflating the money supply. And unfortunately, many of the people that get this money, it's not us, right? As George Carlin said, it's not you and me. We're not in the club, right? So we have to turn the tables on Wall Street. And you can do that. You can do it by becoming your own banker. So the first thing we have to realize is that we finance everything that we buy, either by paying cash and giving up the ability to earn interest, or by financing and paying interest to others. So if you're in that second boat, well, you can change how your money flows. If you're in the first boat that you pay cash, well, just understand you're giving up the ability to earn interest. So again, it boils back down to where we store our money. So understanding that it's the volume of interest that we pay, right, or we don't earn, then where we store our money is important, because our money has to reside somewhere. Now, we all spend money, right? And in a chart in Nelson's book, Becoming Your Own Banker, which I'll show, you understand that we all like to drive, we love our automobiles. So that's the first place we usually finance, is we finance our vehicles. And we all want a place to live. We have housing expenses, whether or not you pay rent or if you have a mortgage, you probably finance that, right? And then, of course, we all have to live. We have living expenses. So those are the three areas that we usually spend our money. These are major purchases over our lifetime. And if you just look at it, 30 to 40% is about the average that most people are spending in these three areas. Where do we store our money? Where do we save our money? And unfortunately, most people are not saving money. According to the Fed, the average family, household, person is saving less than 5% of their income. We encourage you to save more. Shift the way your money is flowing. So you can do that by saving into your own private system, a system not controlled by the banks, that's controlled by you. When you save your money, you want to be able to use it and have it continue to grow. That's what IBC, the infinite banking concept, teaches you to do. So I highly encourage you to read the book, Becoming Your Own Banker, if you haven't already. And if you have read it, read it again, because the more you read it, the more you'll understand that the banks are in control most of the time. And once you take control, which doesn't happen overnight, again, it takes time, you can become the banker and the rates won't matter because it's all relative. If rates are high, you're going to be earning more. If rates are low, then you'll have a lower rate when you're paying back interest. You will pay interest, but you're paying back into a system that you can own and control. So where do you store your money? Your wealth has to reside somewhere. Sadly, this most often is in other people's bank. This chart, this illustration, can literally be worth millions to you if you become the banker. How you can create your own family bank, a system that you can pass on to future generations, but you can use it while you're alive to finance all of your major purchases and take control of the banking function in your life. But let's back up a little. So where does the Fed get money? As Henry Ford famously said, it's well enough that people of this nation do not understand the banking and monetary system. For if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Now, we don't really want a revolution, do we? I mean, there's talk of this color revolution, whatever that means. Pamela Yellen even wrote a book, The Bank on Yourself Revolution. It's a good read if you want to pick it up. But I know it's hard to get people to read books these days. And that's why I make these videos. I try to create content that's easy to understand and that you can follow along with. To save you some time, really. Because at the end of the day, you've got to trust in yourself. You got to believe that you can overcome this system that we all live in. And there is a grassroots method, as Nelson called it, that we can use to escape the monetary regime, the fractional reserve lending system that we all have to live under. So I know everyone has a life and we all are busy doing things that life takes, but we all spend money, right? It takes money to live. So if we're going to spend money, we may as well run it through our system first instead of someone else's system, because that's really what it's all about. Where does your money reside that you're going to spend and that you can save, right? Now, we don't have to confuse saving with investing. You understand investing has risk. And if you have your money invested, chances are it's probably in some kind of government plan. So it's locked up. You can't really use it anyway without paying taxes and a penalty. So again, the book, Becoming Your Own Banker, is a great read. If you haven't read it already, if you've read it, read it again. And maybe this stuff will start making more sense to you. This is a way to get off the grid, to create financial independence, financial freedom for you and your family. You see, the government can only get money from two places: taxes and inflation. What if you could fight back against both of those, right? What if you had your own system, a cash flow management system that had unique advantages that you could use to finance your major purchases? That's what you can do. That's how you can escape the rat race. That's how you can become the banker. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll take my warnings, advice, recommendations, and do a little reading. Learn on your own. You don't have to take my word for it. Go out and get some of these books. So if you'd like to learn how to start your own banking system, just let me know. Leave me your comments. I love to hear what you have to say about the Fed rate cut. Does it matter?